Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Make sure that y'all get in here. Also, make sure that you all share this live out. I want to make sure that my girls, okay, are being seen today, okay? So make sure that y'all share this live out. Yes, ma'am. Okay, my girls are here today, okay? So let me see who I have in here before I get started. Okay. Let's see. Somebody just came up in here. Let's see. Oh, she's in, y'all. She's in.
Ooh,
I am.
Okay,
Hi,
yes,
everyone.
hello,
ma'am.
Yvonne.
Okay,
It took me a minute
finally,
to
yes.
see. Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am. Okay, so I just went live. Okay, we have one view. All right, so I'm about to get started, y'all. All right, so hello, everybody. My name is Annika Laquette, and I am the host and creator of Never Gave Denied podcast, y'all. So before I get started, make sure that you all share this live out. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you just share it with 10 friends, okay? Get everybody in here because it's about to be a good conversation. Okay, because I got my water. I don't know about y'all, but I got my water. All right. Get your
Thirst
tea.
ready.
Okay,
I got,
period.
I got my,
Okay.
I
Ready.
got mine down there.
Period. Okay. Get your snack and get ready because we might have some girl talk. Okay. So yes. Also, I do have an announcement, but y'all gonna have to wait till after this conversation to hear what is
Hmm.
the announcement about. So just wait on it. I gotta wait till the live end. Okay. Just wait. Okay.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, this way.
Cliffhanger.
I can't say it. I
Jesus. All right,
can't say
teaser.
it yet. Yes. Okay, so I have some amazing girls, okay, on my show. These women are so amazing, okay. I love every last one of them, and they come from different states, y'all. Okay. So I before I get started,
Global.
I want to let you all know, just respect each other. Because as y'all saw on the last panel, okay, it got a little heated, got a little spicy. Okay. I ain't gonna say no names, but it got a little spicy. Okay, so make sure y'all respect each other, and we all here for love. Okay, we all here to talk girl talk. Okay,
So,
so yes, ma'am. So I would like to introduce Steph, Rochelle, two returning guests, Yvonne and Yvonne. Okay, and lastly, my line sister, my girl. Okay, ooh, all right, yes, my girl Coffee. Okay, I would love to introduce these ladies. They are so amazing. Hey, Quinn. I see that Quinn is here today. Hey, Quinn. All right. So, y'all ready for these questions? Y'all
by all
ready?
means,
Bring them.
yes.
All
Let's
right.
do
All
it.
right. So we're gonna start off small. Okay. So, tell us about each of y'all. I want to hear from each of y'all. Tell me about yourself, where you're from, what you do, a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm in the first square that I'm looking at right next to Annika, so I'll start. So my name is Yvonne Lee. I am the founder and director of Counseling and Shifting Perspectives Group. Hello, everyone. I am so thankful to have the opportunity to be on this panel with several other young, beautiful sisters. I am, since we shout D9 at all time, I am Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Give all the stuff to my
Hello.
Delta sisters love it, but yes.
Hey.
Um, and and I am about counseling. That is who I am. I'm originally from New York. My husband and I have been down here now for 12 years. This October made 12 years. So while I will never say that I am Southern, I am pure Kakalakian now.
Yes.
And enjoying the community and the many needs of families down here. So my heart is service. I hope that comes through however I answer questions today. I love the Lord. That is prominent. That is first in my life. That also will come through as I speak, because to know me is to know that. And that's probably the reason for my heart of service. I love sharing. I love learning about people. And most importantly, I'm so thankful to see the different generations here, because I think that's something that's so important. Perspective changes as you age, as you grow, as you
Yes.
experience. And I love the idea of all these different,
Yes.
I'm sorry, just this melanin loving sisters here
Yes.
that are
Yes.
just, intelligent, creative, inventive, innovative, and here to share. So I'm excited. I'm so looking forward to this. So, sorry.
Okay. Who wanna go next?
I guess I'll go next because I'm in the second square. So my name is Christian. So, I am the founder of the Be Unique podcast. I actually have my first 2 episodes of season 2 dropping in the next 4 hours.
Hey.
Thank God. I also do acting. I do modeling. I also like to do a lot of work in the community as far as volunteering. And I also have a couple programs that I'm creating right now that will help with the young adults and teens in the city as well. I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And just like you, I also love going to church. I love the Lord. I love studying my Bible. So I resonate with that as well.
Okay, come on, Pennsylvania in the house. Okay. Who's next?
Well, I'll go next since I'm the third square to my right. Hi, I am Yvonne Young, known in these coaching streets as Coach Vaughn. I am a mental health professional therapist by my career. I'm also a certified life coach. I am a transformational public speaker, author, and I'm also the intensive community supervisor for the Department of Mental Health. I work with the sickest of the sick. I own my own coaching and consulting business here in Florence, South Carolina. I am also from New York as well, too. Born and raised in Corning. Came here, I won't say how many years ago because I'm not going to tell my age.
Okay.
You look good. You look good.
To God be the glory. To God be the glory.
Amen.
My business is Creative Life Journeys, and my book is entitled Creative Life Therapy. So I work with a lot with mindfulness, women's empowerment. I coach in mental health wellness, do consultations for women in leadership, as well as in churches, is assisting them with setting up mental health wellness ministries within their church. So I do a little bit of everything. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm trying to master, even though I've got a master's degree and how many hours towards a doctoral degree. And, I'm just grateful for this opportunity. This is my first speaking engagement of the year. So, yeah, I'm excited and looking forward to it.
All right. Who's next?
Would that be me?
I think that's you.
It would be. It would be.
So, my name is Coffee McCoy. So something about me, definitely love of God is my first passion. I had 2 biological children, but my son is deceased and my husband is deceased as well. Don't cry for me. Don't cry for me. So I believe in my story helping somebody else. So as bad as my experiences have been, somebody has gone through something worse than me.
Amen.
So I give all glory to God for that. And I am from Hartsville, South Carolina. So I do therapy part-time, but I'm a full-time school counselor. I have a bachelor's degree in social work, but my master's is in counseling. So as you can tell, I'm in education. So as you can tell, I don't strive for money. So, because you can get me the one for education.
No, indeed.
And I am a member of the Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm a very friendly person. But one thing about me, I love to laugh. So, congratulations to you guys on your accomplishments. And I am in the process of writing a book myself. So,
yes, ma'am.
nice to meet y'all.
All right. Last but not least.
Man. Last but not least. Hey, everybody. I'm Steph Jones, also known as Lilac Calandra. That's what I'm known as on social media. And you know what? I'm looking at everyone's boxes and I'm like, oh, I'm just picking up what everybody is already putting down. So I'm a marriage and family therapist. I'm a mindfulness life coach. I'm a minister. I was a school counselor in a high school. So I'm originally from Boston, but right now I'm in South Africa. I relocated. I know.
Pause the movie. Hold up.
International.
You just became Lilac. Steph. Hold up.
I know.
You became my first international guest.
The bomb. I know.
What just
Yeah.
said?
I'm in South Carolina.
You became my first international guest.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
you just made history for the podcast just now.
Hey.
Now we international.
Yeah, international.
Okay.
Come on, girl.
International global.
Period. Okay, I'm sorry. You got to continue.
Global.
Continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's a move I made over the summer, and that's what I'm picking up from everybody too. You know, I'm led by God. You know, when He sends, you know, you go. And if I have to be the Caleb, if I have to be the forerunner, that's fine.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. But during the pandemic, I actually got certifications in being a mindfulness life coach, right? Because I realized it was first for myself, okay, because there was a lot going on. And then once you realize that there is a path to freedom and that you know how to walk it and you dealt with all the stuff through it, you go back and you get others. So that's what I'm picking up from everybody in here. Like, okay, we've been through stuff. I can look at everybody and be like, we've been through some things, but we didn't just keep going forward. We turned around and said, look, I made it through. Come on, let me bring you as well. So very community based. I also interact with a lot of churches. Come on, Motherland, come on, stand up. It's a whole different ballgame on the continent. Whole different ballgame on the continent. But you know, it's interesting because we find in church and with people in faith that we have such a lack of knowledge of all things mental health. It's actually taboo. So I too joined with everybody on here with knocking down some of those boundaries and really letting people know the truth so that we can be healed. My goal and the vow that I've taken, and I'm landing this plane, is that everybody can experience healing on this side of heaven. Sometimes people say, I need to wait. No, right now, we can experience it right now. That's why I'm here. I'm excited to join in and have this great conversation. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, he said, my kingdom come. He didn't say my kingdom come in. He didn't say later on. He's like, my kingdom come. We're supposed to bring it into existence. I never understand that I have something on the other side. That was our grandmamas and great grandmas because they were bent over and breathing. We're standing straight up and leading. Nobody has time to wait. No, my daddy's got passion for me now. Purpose and reasons for me now. He never said wait. No, he meant for us to hold this in now. So
he did
shout to you, my sister, for saying that. Yes, I never understood what that, but they needed that before because of all the trauma they faced. They got them through. But we don't need to wait anymore. That's past.
We don't.
No, you're right.
We can live the abundant life right now. Like right now. You know what I mean? We don't have to.
As he purposed it. As he stop. See, now we're gonna go to church now. We're gonna go right off the block.
Listen, I don't need encouragement to preach. I promise. I don't
we can shout out daddy now. We can stand and shout for them. Okay. This service gonna go on. So.
Amen.
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 You definitely don't want to get me started.
Ooh.
Okay.
It doesn't take
I
much.
love my dad. Be long-winded anyway, so you better get used to shutting me down because I can talk now. It's a thing.
You're supposed to fan.
I love my dad.
We can catch on.
Quinn say, take us to church and sleep.
We can praise where two or more are gathered. He's right now.
He's
so
there.
You send praise up, he comes down. We can make it that way here. Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So, y'all, okay. So this is the next thing. What did you think is the biggest misconception that people have about relationships today?
That it's easy. I don't think people understand or recognize that lasting relationships require work. There is this fantasy, whether it is the movies or the books or the lack of seeing it at home with understanding. Even if you saw nothing but happiness in your home, your parents worked to get there. People do not understand relationships or work. Humans get on your nerves, in your nerves, around your nerves. It's just a natural.
Jumping on that thing.
all down your last nerve.
Lord,
so you believe that you're going to form a life with another human being that's as aggravating as you and not have to work at it, that makes no sense. You have to choose that person every day. I can roll over and my husband's breathing can just bother me. Why is he breathing out loud? What is happening? Because he has aggravated me, but I choose him. I choose him at my waking and my going to sleep. And aggravated or not, I'm happy he's there. That's a choice. You choose that person every day, no matter what. And I think people think if it's hard, oh, this must not be right. I'm not supposed to be. You're going to find different hard. It's all hard work.
And I would even add, I don't think people, I'm sorry, did I interrupt somebody?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay. I think a lot of times people don't know how to reciprocate love. Because I know, like, for me, my parents were together, but I don't ever truly remember seeing them like being very affectionate with one another. And so a lot of times we mimic what we see, right? What is modeled.
Right.
Sometimes,
yes.
And so, like, first thing we need to realize is whoever works for you or whatever works for y'all have to agree on that. You can't model your relationship after somebody else. Because a lot of people can put on good facades and fronts, and they're just as miserable. Like it's like a misnomer. Like you see them on Facebook. I'm like, I know y'all in real life. I know y'all not that happy. So quit trying to front.
What's going on?
Okay. Me and my husband, we used to go at it. But one thing I would never ever do was put our business on social media, because that's nobody's business. And I think a lot of times people, they try to put on, like I said, put on those facades, and you're not happy. You better be honest with yourself.
That is a misconception, is that everything will be how it was when you first started dating, when you first got married. I think you have to learn and how to keep learning that person, because it's it's inevitable that you both are going to change throughout the relationship. You both have to, like you said, Yvonne, choose each other every day, and make sure that you're what's the word I'm thinking of? Make sure that you're doing a fair compromise as well.
Absolutely.
I feel like, one of the biggest challenges in relationships now, just in my own experience, because I was married for 16 years and divorced for over 20 years. And then just people that I've seen in therapy and in non-therapy, people I know, their relationship is communication. Being able to communicate your needs and your want effectively. Because the last time I checked, nobody's a Miss Cleo or Dr. Wishbone where you can read somebody's mind. You have to communicate. Don't get fed.
Amen.
I mean, I'm a big girl.
Yeah.
I like to eat. I was trying to move
Okay.
on here, but I have to communicate my needs and my wants, and then two, making sure you're in that safe place to do it. Listen, even if you told me last week this happened, that happened, listen, validate that individual's feelings, because it may be bothersome still this week. And another thing is understanding each other's love language. I may not like flowers, but if you give me a touch or caress me or rub my feet, the touch, I may need that in that moment. It's not I feel all in every given moment. Communicate, understand my love language, and then validate my feelings, and we good. You still throw me about $200 or $300 to go shopping. I love it.
Never deny that. Never gave denied. Never gave denied.
Never gave denied. Okay. Period.
Phases, and you got to be able to pivot and adapt where you're at. Well, what you did 10 years ago, like Yvonne said, and I got to remember Yvonne and Yvonne, because I get, a lot of people want to call me Yvonne. No, my mom did not name me Yvonne. She named me Yvonne. Understand that relationships do go through phases, and to piggyback off you, Yvonne, you chose this person. Whether you're committed, in a marriage, when I mean committed or not, this is who you chose to be with, and you got to weather them storms. It's not going to be smooth sailing. You got to go through roller coasters, because if you don't really know and experience until you've had those valley experiences, then you can celebrate and praise on the mountain. And I parked the train for now. It's too cold to fly the plane.
Well, let me jump on this train. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to add to.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Steph said she
Go
wanted to
ahead.
say something.
Go right ahead. Oh, okay. Do you want to jump in, Yvonne?
No, go ahead. Put your thing.
Okay. I'll be quick. So I love what everybody said. I think one of the biggest misconceptions, especially about relationships, is how much influence we give our feelings. I think at times we give too much power to our feelings, right? And I'm not saying to be robotic or to be without them, but feelings shouldn't be driving our car. Like emotions really shouldn't be driving the car. That we know factually that I'm in a relationship, and not just romantic, but platonic, business, family, right? That my feelings cannot drive this car because my feelings will make this car crash every single time. And that if I'm putting so much stock in my feelings, I'm not keeping my feelings, my emotions in check. If I'm just letting them go all over the place, it's dangerous on the road. We shouldn't be operating cars where our feelings are driving. They have the hands on the wheels.
Right.
And I think at the end of the day, if we're talking about a romantic relationship or at the end of the day, I want to know that I like this person outside of any love or feelings or butterflies. That, like, at the end of the day, at the foundational part of this relationship, that I actually like you. You know what I mean? That when I'm not loving you, okay, when I'm not feeling you at the moment, when you're getting on my nerves, like we said, you're tap dancing on my last nerve, the last of the last nerve. That at the core, that I can always go back to that foundation, that if my foundation is strong, that I actually like you as a person, I've taken the time to get to know you, I know who you are, that I can always step back on that foundation. And I can always rebuild another house. Sometimes the house gets knocked down, sometimes things happen. But if the foundation is good, and if the foundation, right, is not just like, oh, it's going to be full of feelings and emotions and how oh man, emotions are fickle and feelings will lie to us. They're not always right. So we have to see what our stock is in, right? We have to see what our foundation is. That's what I'm taking from all of this. I don't want to let feelings drive this relationship. I can't let emotions run this, because at times, most times, and we're women, right? We can be emotional. I mean, men are more emotional than us, but that's a whole different topic.
Come on, they didn't want to talk about that though.
They are. You ever seen them on a basketball court? You ever seen them on a football field? You ever seen them in sports? Like, okay, anywho. I digress. But we get the rap about being emotional, so we have to be the ones in check. Because if we're the backbone of the family, and we are, you know what I mean? Emotionally well women have emotionally well homes and are well on their jobs and in churches and in leadership positions. So that's what I would say, just to add on to what everyone else has already shared.
I think that's why it's also good to like know somebody before you date them, or even like you said, before you become friends with them or vet them, just so you know how they are, like you said, as a person, to see if you actually like them before you love them. So I like.
And you know, I would even add, I know from my personal experiences, my message is always intended to be good, but my delivery used to be trash. Like, like very just saying stuff out of emotion. So I have had to teach myself, you need to be quiet while you're mad. You know, like you don't punish a child. Sometimes silence is the answer, or is the conversation. So yeah, with those emotions being temporary, then I always have to go back and apologize. But how many times are you going to accept my apology if I keep doing the same thing?
Yeah,
you know?
Come on.
That becomes a
habit. What we're talking about then is maturity, and you're not mature. Everything, you know, you grow in stages. So maturity comes with time. And you're right. It would be nice if we waited until we were mature enough to have these relationships, but you don't always. So when you don't have maturity, at the very least, what you should have is respect. And that's why it still comes back to that choice. Because if I choose you, then that should at least garner how I speak to you, right? Like I'm choosing you. But that's also why it's helpful as Chriselle, did I say that correctly, or Chriselle?
Chriselle, yes.
Chriselle. So as you were stating, allowing that time to get to know each other, you know, children don't make relationships better. They don't. Before you, as I used to tell many young ladies when I was mentoring, if you talk about, and I want to preface this by saying I was a teenage mother. I was 17 when I had my son, 18 when I had my daughter. So I understand making choices when you're young and your emotions and your hormones are leading you. However, as I told many young ladies, it's okay to say, I love my child. Of course you did. I love mine. But before you have children, love your children enough to keep your thighs closed.
Hello.
Love your children enough to choose a man you're proud to be their father long before you're thinking about him as a husband. Is this a man I want to be with my child to mimic? Love your child enough to keep your thighs closed. That's love. It's not the hormones and the butterflies in the stomach and the chocolate chip cookies and rainbows. That's not love. That's lust and passion and all those things that fluctuate and come and go. Real love has nothing to do with that. So love, I didn't get that message correctly. My mother was trying to tell me I was young and fast, couldn't hear it at the time.
That you say that, Yvonne.
But I will not tell you to do just because I did. I would say if you really want to love, keep your thighs closed. Take the time to get to know that young man. Take the time to see how does he treat me and respect me, because there's nothing worse than all of a sudden you loved him enough to be unprotected and to have this child, and now he's no good and he ain't got no money, and he was all those things when he was living it.
Always.
Again. Now you want to talk about it? Stop it. Now you're talking about
hot up in here.
Relationships are that's maturity. But the thing is, we rarely wait for maturity in making decisions.
Oh yeah.
And there are too many young, immature making grown choices about things you don't yet really understand. But there's nothing you can do about that, because you couldn't tell me anything then either. All we can do as mature women, as educated women, is to model and be right examples. And when they walk through our door, the past doesn't matter, you're here, but how can we do better? Because when you know better, you do better, right? So let's move forward differently. So
and I know, I'm sorry.
No, please.
I know, my mother had me out of wedlock. Excuse me. And then I had my daughter out of wedlock, even though we eventually got married, but most of my children were out of wedlock. And so in my family, if you don't have a child by the time you're 21, they're looking at something wrong with you. Are you okay?
Wow.
No, sincerely, yeah. I love my family, but I knew I wanted to go back to college, so I didn't want to have all those children. So I was 22 years old when I got my tubes tied, because I said when my son turned 1, yes, ma'am, they were coming too quick. I was pregnant 3 years in a row. I was not doing that.
I feel you.
And so when my daughter, she told me herself, she said, we're breaking that generational curse. And she's 24. She's already
No, that's right.
Come on, daughter.
Go ahead, sister.
That's what I'm talking about.
Go ahead, young lady. Yes.
That was God, honey. That was not me. That was different.
I give that shout too, because mine are paying adults and this, and did not follow this, and breaking those curses. Thankful for it. Thankful for it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I have a next question. Have you ever had to prioritize your mental health over a relationship? If you did, what did you learn from that?
Nope, that's why I'm crazy.
Yes.
I'm coming through.
Yes.
Yes.
She almost made me turn around. Did y'all see that, sister?
You almost did a 360.
Oh Lord. I gotta.
You know what? I'm gonna let one of y'all go first. I keep on talking. Go ahead.
Let me inject this. Ooh. Let me tell you something, and transparency is truly my truth. I was in a relationship. I was involved with someone, and I'm going to be careful with the details just because I'm on the live, but I'm illustrating the point. I was in a relationship with an individual for over 20-something years, and all it was I was in love with the ideal of being in love. And I saw the individual date other people in front of me, whatever. But I still loved him. I still love you. It took a good friend of mine. And this is why the power of friendship to this day is so important to me. This friend was a true enough friend to me. This is before I even became a mental health professional. She said, you got to love yourself enough to let go of that foolishness.
Come on.
That was the game.
Period.
I love me. I loved my mental health, and mental health wasn't as prominent now as it then as it is now. And like I said, I wasn't even a therapist at that point. I within myself, my standards, who I was as a woman. I'm sitting up here tired of crying, tired of seeing this, tired of going through this, tired of repeating certain things. It's like I gotta get me together. My mindset has got to change. And that was the aha moment. Like, you know what? Self-love trumps everything.
Yes.
Come on.
Your health, your emotional intelligence, your physical health. Because I used to stay sick all the time, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. As big as I am, started losing weight. All I had was afflicted with the afflictions. You know, I ain't being comical, but yet serious at the same time. You have to, and I tell people, if it interferes with your peace of mind, your sleep, your eating, your daily routine, let it go. It's not working.
Gotta go.
Because
Gotta go.
to add and build you up, and you're dividing and subtracting. No, baby, that ain't love. You stuck and stupid, and you lusting. It's like your mom said. That ain't love. That's foolishness. Love yourself. He's up there laughing at you and talking about you. I love him. I love him. And he's going down the road with Sally, Susie, and everybody else, and probably dating the sisters and mama and all them. And you up here about to get committed to Bull Street for you over there in South Africa, baby. I can't see your name. That's the crazy house.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Unalive yourself behind what?
Jesus.
Come on
You're
now.
right.
Just tired. As Angela says, sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's when you just, like you said, Yvonne, loving you. When you love you, first of all, again, it just comes back to knowing what love is. When you love you, you can't disrespect me. When I love me too much to let you treat me this way. I love me too much to put up with feeling invalidated. I love me too much to be unhappy every day. I love me too much to be miserable. That makes no sense, but that also comes with mindsets of afraid of being alone. I was before I married my husband, we had been together for many years, and we had spoken marriage, intended it. My kids very much cared about him, an excellent stepfather and father figure, absolutely. But I chose to make Christ the head of my life and realize what love is, because I want to be very clear. I didn't know what love was prior to that. I thought I did. If you'd asked me at the time, I would have swore I did. But I did not. So when I came to know what love is, learning from the one who created love, when I got into 1 Corinthians chapter 13, that love chapter, and it was like, love is good and love is patient and love is kind. Hold up. If I put your name in front of those words, the way you're treating me, it doesn't line up with this. And in fact, the way I'm treating you isn't lining up with it either. I started reading and understanding that. I was like, well, I'm not loving you any more than you're loving me. This isn't love then. What we have together is toxic. So I took my kids and myself and left him the apartment and moved, because this isn't working. It just is not. And from my well-being and my growth, I couldn't do it with you. I go to church on Sunday and I'm happy, and then I'm cursing by Sunday night because I'm mad at you. And the Taurus in me is full throttle volcano, like lava flow and everything. So if you take me there, I'm at let it burn then let's take it all the way down. And I'm cursing and all. That's not what my daddy intended for me. I shouldn't be like this. And too many times, and I decided, no, that's not what love is. And I made a decision. It just happened to wind up that he loved me enough to continue. He started growing. So this same man I'm married to now, and this lasted for 5.5 years. I was not playing. I told him that this is no longer who I am. Date somebody else, do, because I don't see myself with this anymore. For 5.5 years, he would come to church occasionally, but we started going out. It was for Bible study. We haven't started having more meetings about that. He never missed my kid's birthday or mine. And these are not his children. I want to be clear, like I said, stepfather. So he never missed their birthdays, never missed a beat, continued to be my friend when he realized it wasn't a phase. Like she really has.
Mhm.
And it was after that time that I began feeling feelings again. It was like, okay, and now we're married. As I said, now it's 12 plus years later. But I think so many people are afraid to say, I choose me. And
Mhm.
sometimes you
You're
need
right.
to. We teach people how to love us. Sometimes you have to walk away to show them, I love me too much for this. If they love you, they will do the work also to meet you down the road. But we can't stay here because this is toxic,
Right.
and we're dying here. We're on quicksand here. I'm not standing here with you. However, if you really care for me, let's get off this. Let's move
Yep.
further, but you got to show me. You have to prove it. I'm not just going to get down the road and pick you up again to return to the same place. It says he takes us too far to go back. And I had
Come
gone
on
too
now.
far with my daddy to go back. That's not happening. But when he met me there and showed change, which is not to say everything was perfect, growth is always happening. But I have to see it. And then we can move along. And too many times people stay where they're unhappy because, well, I've invested time. Well, I've been with him this long. Well, I don't want to do this by myself. But you're miserable. That is
Miserable.
crazy.
Miserable.
It's okay without him or
Yeah.
her.
Yep.
And Yvonne, you said I had a similar story to you. So I had to learn that love is an action word. You could tell me all day, but are you going to show me that you love me?
Amen.
And so we were just boyfriend and girlfriend at the time, and he was just like, he would do whatever he was going to do. And I got to the point, and I told him, and I said, some women have a man just for the sake of saying that they have one. And
Come on
so
now.
I told him, I got to that point, and I told him, I said, I love you enough, because I knew he didn't want to be with me at that time. And so I told him, I said, I love you enough to see you happy, even if it's with somebody else. And so
That's real.
the thing for me, I mean, oh my God, y'all, I can tell y'all so many stories. I done been to jail, all that. And so wasn't being a good example for my daughter to see how a man, and this was her father. So you need to let a man show you how much they love you, not just tell you that. And so I just said, no, I wasn't doing it anymore. So, but when he saw other men started being interested in me, oh, now he want to come back home.
Isn't that how it is?
Isn't it always how it is?
That's how it is.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
I know for me, I had to step away from someone because they were verbally abusive. That's where I had to back up. I'm a late bloomer, so
Look too, that a lot of people overlook.
They overlook it, and I'm a late bloomer, so I started dating very late, like in my 30s. You know what I mean? There was a lot going on, like. So the first person, like one of the first or second people that I was talking to, we weren't even really dating, like we were just getting to know each other. He ended up literally verbally attacking me, attacking my profession, my womanhood, everything. Like, and it was something so small. It really was. Like, I can be extra, you know what I mean? But it was something so tiny because I checked in with people. That's what I like, about having the tribe and the team around you to hold you accountable, not just like yes people. But like people are gonna be like, Steph, like you were wrong, and then you know they love you, so you're gonna take it. But I had to back up because it was just a lot, and that's even before we were really dating. And he'd already mentioned marriage and all this stuff, and so analyzing, okay, is this who I want to be the father of my children? Someone who can't control their anger, someone who's gonna attack verbally, and it's not a far jump to physical abuse from verbal abuse. It's not a far jump. It's a very small distance, right? So that's what I started evaluating. Like, I needed to go because I don't walk on eggshells for anyone. And I'm not saying I'm abrasive and brutish. I'm just saying that I need everyone to be to a certain place where we can have honest conversations. And even if we don't like it, we don't necessarily lash out. And, I ended up blocking him on everything you could think of. Smoke signals, satellite, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere you could think of. Any platform you could think of, they communicate, YouTube, everywhere, block, right? Then he ended up reaching out to me and still is reaching out to me. That's not a flex because I want you to stop. But it's you end up realizing what you missed and how you blew up. And he was like, oh, I'm really sorry. Thank you for your apology. But I said, I don't trust you with me. I don't trust you with me.
Mm.
Because if you can't control your
That's deep.
emotions, if you're so angry, I have to be able to trust you with me, even before I introduce you to my family. Can I trust you with me? And if the answer is no, then you don't get any part of me, right? And I love that I always say you train people how to treat you, and it's in reality just what you were saying. You train people how to love you. That by how I love myself, the authority to love me that same way, or vice versa, by how I don't love myself. So that's when I had to back up, step away, and say no. And honestly, peace is my priority. That I have to protect my peace in every area, from the top to the bottom. You know, so if I don't have peace in this relationship, then peace, like, see you. You know what I mean? When you go through something,
Yep.
when you go through the fire, when you go through hell, you come out and you reach that other side and you're healing and you're on a peace journey, you protect it fiercely. Like you have the guard dog, you have the armed guard. You're like, no one's gonna come and interrupt my peace.
Okay.
And should you, literally, I'm out. So that's when I had to do that. I had to back up. I had to say, I can't trust you with me. And if I can't trust you with me, then there's nothing else we can do.
Love it.
And then too, I don't know why this keeps coming to me, but I'm going to inject this. It goes back to what Yvonne said about maturity. Like the level of love, being able to love yourself, the 18-year-old in me, because I was a teenage mother as well too. At that time, I didn't know how to love me because I didn't know how to love myself. I was looking for the love that I didn't have from my biological father. And I just want this love me, that father figure. So let's talk on this and let's go there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that's real.
Let's go there. Let me
talk about that.
Because
lean back, get comfortable. Yeah.
Girls marry their fathers.
We tend to look for love because we ourselves don't know how to look inwardly for the love that we need ourselves. That type of love and that love for myself wasn't at 18. It didn't hit me until I was probably in my mid 30s, probably close to 40s, when maturity I've experienced in life. Like, wait a minute, I've been a young mother, I've been a young wife, I've been everybody else. Even had grandchildren before I turned 40. It's like, I gotta love me and stop looking for what I needed from a man that loved. First, I needed from God, that the love of God, because it's unconditional. He's gonna love me no matter what mistake, no matter what past. I've got to love me enough to self-accept my strengths, my flaws, the goodness, the bad days, the whatever days. And it takes that level of love and maturity to accept, hey, I'm not selling for any.
I think she froze.
She froze.
Satan, we bind you. We getting this out.
Right. When you talking good, you want to. Okay.
Yes.
There she go. There she go.
You know how it works.
You freezing. You good. Okay. Right. Now.
And this old man, he up there. I ain't got nobody to cook my turkey. And what you want me to do? I ain't cooking my own turkey. I need a woman and follow me onto my car. Well, this my vehicle right here. This mine right here. Okay, that's nice. Like you had something. Well, where are you parked? Oh, I'm across the parking lot. And this ain't boasting and bragging. It's fact. Well, where are you parked at? Over here. I wasn't letting you know. Oh, I'm following you. Oh, this is what you're driving? Man. Oh, yeah, I really need a woman. You don't drive what I drive. I'm not putting anybody down. I have a standard. I love myself. I'm not coming to your house cooking no turkey and whatever. Golden Corral is open. And plus, you're not going to approach me like that. You approach me with some decency because I don't carry myself all kind of way, and I ain't no street woman. You love me enough to respect me.
Amen. And you know, usually girls, if you watch the patterns with women, young women and girls, they always marry their daddies. Like the man and
good or bad, you know, good or bad.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know, Crashell, I know you was about to say something. You want to say something about this question?
It was just something quick because you guys pretty much covered it all. The emotional intelligence and discernment to realize when somebody is projecting their own insecurities onto you. Go crazy so that you don't ruin your mental health or just spiral down as well. Because a lot of times, like, something's wrong with us because somebody is texting you like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Why aren't you calling me? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And it's just like, I'm not doing anything. So I feel like, yeah, you really have to have a lot of discernment to realize when, like you said, they're right for you or they're not right for you.
Yeah, you do. Right. Okay. So the next question, it comes from a supporter. Okay. So Jarvell, if y'all remember, if y'all watched the last panel, the all men panel, Jarvell, okay, he said, why is women's intuition only used in regards to a man cheating, never to realize when he is unhappy?
What? But we do.
Oh. Okay, Jarvell.
Jarvell about to eat up.
Y'all better go eat a sandwich somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find his question faulty because he's making it seem like women only begin to show that intuition when they cheat. Women are very intuitive, and it shows beforehand. When we start asking questions like, what's wrong? You don't seem very happy. That's that intuition showing up. Thank you. When we start like, so how come you acting different now? You used to say so-and-so. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's the same thing. No, that's her intuition. Something saying this is not right. So we don't suddenly wait until you've cheated. And then women are not people that wait until. Women are showing you and telling you how. When you are young, and I'm just going to say immature, but that's not a negative thing. All of us are immature in some way, right? Maturity grows and it continues. So your level of maturation comes with your age and your experience. So it doesn't mean immature is like you're childish. It just means you don't yet know, right? Like being ignorant, you just don't know. So in your immaturity, you missed all those signs. In your immaturity, you didn't realize, you called it nagging. Thank you, Malika. You called it nagging. You said you always messing with me. That's why I don't come home. That's why I go, no. I'm telling you, I recognize something's wrong. You don't seem happy here. I'm telling you, I recognize that we're not the same as it was. Women know. And that's why we start asking questions. However, when you use our questions to make us feel like we're imagining it, pulling it out the air, I don't know what you're talking about, bruh.
Yeah,
it's gaslighting.
Period.
It's gaslighting. Well, what I'm feeling, I know what it is, but here's the difference. When you are equally immature, you'll start to question. It does make you think maybe it's me. Perhaps it's the one, because they're very convincing at doing so. So on his side, his immature, if he is older, then in your immaturity, what you see as nagging and somebody you think like you're trying to control me or you're trying to make me answer to you, no. You don't recognize that's a woman saying something's wrong in this relationship. And I'm recognizing, and I'd like us to address it. And the young woman in her immaturity, the minute she starts to question, could it be me? Am I wrong? No, honey. Stand on what you know. You have your feeling for a reason. However, that's where communication is so important. That Yvonne was talking about earlier. But people think communication in a relationship is just talking about everything for hours at a time. Me and my husband communicate well. We talk for hours. Me and my boyfriend, or me and whoever you're significant, we talk for hours, right? That's great conversation. I can have that with somebody in a supermarket. And we can strike up because you can have connection and we can talk for hours. The communication we're talking about in a relationship, that sustaining communication, is saying things that are not comfortable to say. It's saying things that you think might be hurtful or might cause some pain. It's saying something that needs to be said even though you don't want to say it, because you know this is about to cause a shift in your relationship. That's the kind of communication you learn as you get older. When you say communication is necessary, I need you to tell me the things you think I don't want to hear. And I need to say to you the thing I think is going to cause an argument. Honey, we need to talk. This is cut the TV off, close the door. we need to talk. This might not get pretty, but I'm
Yeah.
still choosing you, and I hope you're still choosing me. But this needs to be said. So it's not a matter of women waiting until. A woman's intuition is a natural thing. It's in my opinion, God-given. That's the part that he gave us that makes us a good helpmeet, because I know there's something's wrong about you. But the man that respects and honors you, that's mature enough, is going to take that and be like, okay, it's time for me to speak. My woman recognizes that it's time for me to speak. And the other one will pretend, make you question yourself, have you thinking maybe you're loopy, and then we'll turn it around then later, say, I don't know why you didn't know when I was unhappy. Then you should have said you were unhappy. Why did you continue with me and your unhappiness and look for happiness someplace else and then blame me because I didn't say it?
And I also think that if you are running into women that you think are doing that, maybe you should question, what type of women are you looking for? Are you talking to? Are you just meeting?
Jarvell.
Jarvell. You know, he just texted me back.
Where's Jarvell?
He said, I beg your pardon.
Where's Jarvell?
He's over here at work still. I just texted him just now.
Jarvell needs to get on.
You need to get on here, Jarvell.
Oh, because he needs to be on.
Let me just say,
he needs to be on immediately, because in all seriousness, though, this is an inflammatory statement, and I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, like, I've seen a lot of these statements on social media from men that it's inflammatory, and it wants to make you react. You know what I mean? Because as everyone's saying, we have the woman's intuition, and we have communicated on multiple occasions. Babe, hey, I need you to do this. Hey, can we talk? Hey, can we check in? Hey, can we chat? I watched a very immature interview by Marlon Wayans, and he said, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but he said, I don't want to hear anything going wrong. I just want to live in peace. I don't want to hear anything that's going wrong in the relationship. I don't want to hear anything. And I recognized the immaturity in him. And I said, this is the mindset of a lot of men, unfortunately. And this is not bashing. It's just a reality. Where we see the emotional intelligence, where we see that EIQ is it's down. And so nagging really does turn into like, oh, now we have an issue. And unfortunately, you know, we're talking about the male ego and the fragility of it all. That if I'm saying, hey, I need something to be corrected, I'm not attacking your ego. I'm your helpmeet. I'm trying to say, hey, this is something that we need to correct. It's a boundary. I'm queen boundary. That if I'm alerting you of something, this is the boundary I'm putting up. If you decide to keep breaking that boundary, that's a whole different conversation that we have to have, because the boundary protects what's within. It's not about keeping something out. It protects what's within. No emotional intelligence. It's very low. And so we don't just talk or say, oh, when you're cheating, we mention stuff. But if we're tuned out, or if someone has a misogynistic or chauvinistic mindset where you think that women are beneath and below and that you're smarter than every woman, we have to talk about these real things. That a lot of men don't like women. I don't mean in a homosexual way. I mean, you don't like women. You know what I mean? Based on how you feel about your mom. It's mother wounds. We're digging into it. It's mother wounds, and it's unhealed. And you are taking out the pain and the resentment that you feel to your mom. You're taking it out on every woman you interact with, not just romantically. I mean, on your job, everywhere. You interact with women in a horrible way, because that's unhealed trauma. I think everything comes back down to that. You need to heal yourself before you try to get any relationship and all of that. So Jarvell, Belly, that statement is not just incorrect. Well, it's not just incorrect. It's inflammatory. You want us to get hot and bothered, and we're not going to. But we notice and we speak up before we notice someone cheating. Are your ears tuned to hear our voice, or have you tuned us out? That's the question, Belly Bell, for you when you get off work and when you do the rewatch. Okay.
Let me say, Vaughn, you pulled that bro from the bottom of your soul, bro.
It was cool. From the depths.
Chriselle, I know you have something you want to say, sis, and I want you to say it. You go ahead. I wanted to say something, but I want you to finish what you wanted to say first.
Oh, no, it's going to be really quick. I just want to say, a lot of times I think it's funny how they want to tune us out when we say things like that, but like anybody else, they will listen to. Like if it's a guy friend, if it's somebody at work, it's like you'll listen to them or you'll let them talk to you. But it's like when it's women, it's like you said, the ego is just like, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to do it. It's just crazy. But
If
you
I
can,
could,
I want to say we need to also, and this is probably just why I'm into counseling and have studied psychology. It's just a recognition that everything starts from somewhere, right? We have a past. We have to remember the generations that came before us. There are lessons that are passed down, despite the very many young brothers I have seen on Facebook, many young brothers like in their 30s, their late 20s, talking about emotional maturity. It has, oh my gosh, it has blown my mind when I have heard so many young brothers, white and black, just sitting around talking about, yes, we should listen, we should be tuned in, we need to have our own, emotional maturity and our own growth. We need to stop asking for our women. So there's a lot more brothers now. Today, like I said, this is not about color. There are a lot more young men today recognizing they need to bring more to the plate because women can stand united. We don't need you in the same way, but we need to understand that all of this is a pass down too. When you've got generations upon generations telling them what a man is supposed to be, and it's not about all that talking. Talking is for women. We're not supposed to have all these long talks. So there are just habits and traditions that are passed down. And there are some men that have yet to have a man in their family to break those chains, to break those curses and those cycles and say, that's old nonsense. Let it go. That needs to change. Women no longer have that. That was our greats and our grandmothers and our great grandmothers who, knew that a man had to, you don't nag a man. You don't talk to a man too often. You tell him one thing and that's it, because that was because we needed a man then. Because a woman couldn't attain and grew up without a man. Because if you wanted to get a checking account, if you wanted to get a house, if you wanted to have, you needed a man. But that doesn't stand anymore. So now we stand alone. However, men were not told about this. So all they notice is that women no longer are taking and allowing what was once taken and allowed. It was okay for you to treat a woman's way, because what are they going to do anyway?
Can't go nowhere.
Way that it was, you should be thankful to have a job. No, now we're growing and perceiving and leading and creating jobs. So that doesn't stand. But change takes time. And it does start by how we're raising and mentoring our daughters and our sons. It is a personal thing. Yes. When you meet a young man, and for me, because I'm in my 50s, I'm going to say anybody 40 and younger, that's a young man to me, just 40 and younger. that could be a young man who either needs to be around men. And I hope there's a question. So when we talk about what is a man and what is a woman, because it's not age. Age doesn't define those things. If you'd have asked that 18-year-old who was having a son, I thought I was grown. I thought I was a woman. I had not a clue. I was just an old child. We don't even understand what that means. So there's a lot of young men who are not yet men, and they need other brothers to stand up and mentor. However, you don't find that playing on the game or sitting in your house. That is in the church. That is in various fraternities that offer mentoring. That is in different programs. We need to make sure that our young men, just like our young women, are involved. How often is there a young woman on our job or in our lives somewhere in our church? Are we taking the time to speak truth to them? Because women lead men. Right. That just is a fact. Women lead men. If I don't allow you to disrespect me, you will not disrespect me. So your behavior is going to change, your attitude and how you speak to me, whether we stay together or not. I have an opportunity to show you that's not okay. You do not. For me and my generation, it was Shorty. I had a young man call me Shorty one time. I stand 5'8". That never even made sense to me. That's not of my generation. I am not now, nor have been since like elementary, a short person. So do not shorty me. I'm not chocolate.
She took it literally.
Yeah, because it makes sense to me. So it immediately affected me. And perhaps you should also know the generation you're speaking to walk up to a woman like me and say shorty.
Read the room.
Little boy. Child, please walk away from me. This is not going to work well in your face. However, we also have to teach our daughters how to do the same. So this is a mutual teaching. Jarvel sounds just young, and he is not around men that are teaching him that, but more and more are talking about it. So keep your ears open. Watch something on Facebook and Twitter that is not just about shaking body parts. Watch things that are healthy discussions and talking about maturing and growing up. It's time for growth. And those days of don't nag me, there's some right in that. I never heard my parents argue, never. And we used to put our ear to the floor because when my mother or father said, like if my mother said, Nathaniel, I need to speak to you, it was something going on. So we try and listen to the floor to hear, but you never heard anything. They did not raise their voice. There was nothing that we could hear, but they had their discussions in private. A man shouldn't be nagged because that takes it from you trying to let your man know that you're angry to you're trying to raise him. And you're not to raise him. If so, he's looking at you like a mother. But by that same measure, how long are we going to sit around continuing to nag? Now we're stepping into a mother's role, and you wonder why your relationship is not what it should be because you're mommying him and raising him more than you being his woman. I'm meant to be his helpmate. I've learned how to tell my husband what I don't like, and then that's it. Nagging is raising. I nag my son because I needed him to listen. My son is 34. I don't nag him. I'm going to tell you, and what you choose to do is you. So we need to remember our roles too. And too often we go from girlfriend, lover to mommy. And that's not attractive. Just putting that out there.
Okay. And I know,
If I could, I'm sorry.
Yvonne, I know you had something to say. Like, go ahead.
No, somebody wait. I was just wait. I want to go back to the question for what it is and just kind of address it from a little different perspective because I meet Jervell where he's at with the question. The question was, why is it that a woman's intuition, they know when they're being cheated, but they don't know when a man is not happy? I've heard that from all age groups. I mean, and that's $1 million question to answer.
Right.
And that's why I sat back and I listened to all the different perspectives. But going back to his question, okay, let me address the first part. Because when a man's cheating, you know when his vibe is off. You know, if you know your man, study your man, you know when the vibe is off. And by the time that man starts having an affair, that affair just didn't start when you start to, that happened way. It didn't start overnight. So something happened from the time the intuition kicked in, and you kind of like, well, something's not right. He all of a sudden smelling good, not wearing that old Spice cologne. He's starting to breathe now. Or wearing Levi's. Not regular. He got a little bit more
Levi's.
Levi's.
Right. Well, he was winking at me. He ain't paying me no attention. So your vibe is off. He always had his hiding off.
You know it.
So there's no telltale signs. Wait a minute, something ain't right here. That's when that intuition goes full gear. So don't sit and say, well, you don't know I'm not happy. What happened? We need to have a discussion here. What happened? How do I contribute to your unhappiness? What is going on with you? And one of the things is a lot of people do not know how to effectively express half their communication, their needs and wants, because they were never taught as children. When you sit up there and you beating them children's tail, stop that crying. I'm gonna give you something to cry about. Well, hell, you done gave me something to cry about. You done whip my ass.
And then some.
Okay. Real. So it hurts. My behind hurts. And you stop crying? Come on now. I've got feelings. And then you go back to that male. Men don't supposed to cry, says who?
Yes, literally.
I never understood that.
Come on. I never understood that.
Listen.
Have feelings.
And it's so damaging. It's so damaging. The statement is damaging.
Yeah.
It's internalized, and then we tell little boys not to cry, and then we want grown men who know their emotions. You can't have both.
Yeah,
You can't have both.
Right.
You can't have both. So now they've grown up. They're not happy. I don't know how to express I'm happy. They get with a woman. You know, the woman made the wife or whoever they're doing. I might not be having a good day. I might not be in a space where I can accommodate your emotions and my emotions that day. But then here comes, say, Sister Sally. Oh yeah, you look good. She's showing you a little bit of attention, and don't mean you know good. And you start falling for that. So then now you are going through this. So it's like I get what he's saying, but in the same token, understand you closed mouths don't get fed. If you're not happy, let's have a discussion. Because the only
That's right.
thing that you
That's
can
right.
control when you have that discussion about your unhappiness is what you think, how you feel, what you say, and how you feel. When I tell you how I feel, whether I accept it or not, it's not about me. It's about you getting your point across, taking that burden of unhappiness off of you. Because you've told me it's up to me then what I got to do from there.
If I could expound on
Yeah.
what Yvonne
Wait,
said.
coffee.
Uh-huh.
Before you start, I know Crashell, she was saying something.
Oh,
You
that's
was going to say
fine.
something?
I apologize.
Pretty much.
You're
covered
good?
my- Yeah.
Okay.
You sure?
Okay, you go ahead.
Yeah,
Coffee.
Okay. I just wanted to expound on what Yvonne was saying earlier, because I think men don't. Oh, excuse me, I let my dog.
You good.
I don't think men realize the ramifications of cheating. Period. Because a lot of times what happens is the woman always takes responsibility for the cheating. Like, what did I not do to keep from having? Yes. What is it about me that I didn't do?
Nope.
Or why didn't I do this? Or whatever the excuse is. But what it does is it causes self-doubt and low self-esteem in women. So they're gonna seek that because women cheat too. They're gonna seek it.
Yeah, they
but
do.
Usually,
Let's call it for what it is.
yeah, but most of the time, women cheat for attention, and a lot of times, what people fail to realize is cheating is not only sexual. You can have a whole nother emotional relationship with somebody. But what I'm saying is, that's not the only form of infidelity. Excuse me. So I think a lot of times and then in the future, the next person that they're going to be in a relationship, they're going to pay for that.
Yeah.
So
I say this all the time.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. I'm like, when men get cheated on or treated dirty, and they will stay with that woman and still get cheated on, get hurt by that person, and then the next person they date, Are you okay?
I'm sorry.
Sounds like someone's falling down the stairs.
You okay?
Who, me? Oh, I'm fine.
It's like you falling over. I said, oh Lord, somebody help him. Okay.
Do you need an usher or
you okay?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm fine. I don't know why I'm not showing anything.
No, we can see you. We're just getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute your camera, okay?
Oh no, Chriselle. What's going on?
Let's see. Is she cut out? Oh Lord. Where everybody went? Oh,
there's Yvonne.
Yes. Okay, let me.
Can you see me?
What's going on with her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I had to
like
get
you,
over here. My phone
okay.
was about to go dead.
Okay. It like Crashell, she left, but if she comes back, I'm gonna add her back in. But so that brings me to my next question. I think she's coming back in. Hold on one second, y'all. I know I heard something just now. Okay, now I don't see her. Okay, so that does bring me to my next question. Why do women stay even after being disrespected?
Comfortable. Afraid of being alone.
Yeah, it's comfort. It really is. And it's also our pride.
Right.
If we've invested, and we're just losing them one by one. That's all right. We keep
right. I still got y'all. They gonna come in. They gotta get their stuff together.
Hello. We can hold it down.
I heard something just now.
If we've invested
so
much time in a relationship, if we've invested so much time in a relationship, we don't want to admit defeat or failure. We're like, we can do this. And I think us as women, and I'll say especially Black women, right? That's the only perspective that I can share on, right? We know how to fix things, and we know how to keep a family together. We know how to knit things back together. We know how to invest time and things like that. And in reality, we stay too long because we are looking at potential and we're allowing what we perceive as love to really coat our eyes. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I love this person so much that, oh, I'm just gonna keep going and going forward. We know we're getting disrespected. We know we're getting cheated on. We know that we're not being treated, as the queens we are. We understand that. But you don't want to give up. You're like, some people spiritualize it or make it a religious thing. Like, man, God is gonna work it out and push through it. And we add all this stuff onto it, when in reality, we are afraid of being alone. And we are afraid of being abandoned and rejected. And that those feelings and those fears, they make us stay way longer than we should. And even though we see things, like our woman's intuition is right there, discernment is right there. We see what's going on, we see what's happening, we see what's occurring. We don't want to give up on this thing. We can't give up. We can't give up because we've put so much time. And you don't want, oh, I wasted my time. And in reality, it's not a waste of time. You live and you learn, you grow. And when it's time to move on, you move on and you shift on. And the longer we stay, the more of ourselves that we lose. You know what I mean? So that's, and I'm speaking from personal experience, staying in a relationship too long, knowing that I should have been gone, but I don't want to give up, and I can do this, and I'm a go-getter, right? I'm a fighter. I can make anything work when it's
right
easier and more energy and cost effective to say, let me let this go, because it's time to go, and I don't want to lose too much of myself.
And sometimes it's pride. That's nothing more than, I'm going to prove that you can't wear me down. I'm going to prove I can give as good as I get. He throw insults, I throw insults. If he cheat, I can cheat.
Right.
I'm going to prove that I can take it. I can dish out. And then, of course, there's always the toxic aspect. This is the kind of relationship my mother had, or my sister has, or whatever. So I think
it's all you know.
And so it's if this is normal, this is what I see around me. That's another important reason why you have got to get out of your own community and stop hanging around just the people you know. Because if this is your normal, then you don't even know different is out there. You only know what you see. And of course, movies and stuff, well, that's not real. This is reality. My sister, my cousin, my mother, we've all had these relationships. And if that's your whole world, then that's all you know. Then that is what reality is to you. So why should I leave or go anywhere else when every woman is going through the same thing? And there's more than enough podcast videos, documentaries, and all types of platforms that show men disrespecting women being mistreated physically and verbally, emotionally. It just seems like it's all around you, So it could either be your pride, I'm going to prove that I can take it, or it can be just, I think there's nothing but this. So I bother trying to move on to what? At least you know that devil you know versus the one you don't. At least I know this is common. Right. And it's sad that chaos can be your norm, because how many times have we heard of women getting another relationship, and because this man or this person does not curse you or yell at you or disrespect you, you don't even think it's a good relationship. Like, I don't even understand this. I'm not fighting. I'm not arguing. There's no chaos. You're actually trying to understand my feelings. You're trying to connect with me. You're trying to have, and it just seems to that person that's so scary, because I don't know this. And that's just many, sad stories that some people have. But, this is why being that phrase, that scripture, be not unequally yoked, for a reason. That unequally yoked is powerful when you are the one who is trying to be kind and be patient and be loving, and yet you get spat on, stepped on. Hopefully not, these are more symbolic, but when you are mistreated because the other person doesn't know that that's not okay, that I should not treat you that way and you should not treat me that way. This is not okay. We should not walk around this apartment, this house, not speaking for days at a time. That's not okay. But because that's what you do and it's your norm, no, we're a problem. This is not okay. But when you don't know what healthy is, then unhealthy is normal. And if you're the only one that
Yes.
knows, and you're going to take
Come
a
on.
whole lot
Come on.
because I'm trying to fix him. As Steph said, we are nurturing people by nature. I can fix it. I can love him through this. I can help him see. We will tear ourselves down trying to help that man be what he needs to be. And that comes back to, you need to be raised, but I'm not your mother. I'm going to leave you alone.
Well, you know what?
Opportunity to grow.
See,
I can't.
you know what? Before you say something, Yvonne,
Now I just want
y'all already going into the next question I was going to
question
ask.
so I can make sure I understood the question that you asked.
Oh no, you're fine. So I asked, why do women stay even after being disrespected?
Okay.
So that was the question, but Yvonne, you already went to the question I was going to ask, because I was saying, why do women feel as though they have to build a man and want to be Barbara the Builder?
Barbara.
So you already answered it.
Barbara.
Barbara the Builder.
Yes, indeed.
Because, baby,
Come
us
on.
women.
Barbina.
Why? Why do
So
we
we could build
feel?
somebody up?
It's asking,
But why is that?
why won't we stay and do this and do that? Why do we leave right away? Why won't we stay and give them a chance as well? So when we do that, it's like, should I do that or
Right.
should I not?
And isn't that an important part? And doesn't that come back to, when is it worth it? I've gone through many things with my husband, but are you with a man who, I love my husband. I love my husband. This man can absolutely take me to levels, my gracious. But when I look around the house that I don't have to worry about paying for, when I look at the car whose oil and tires I don't have to get rotated or filled, when I look at the way he makes lunch for my mother and I, because she refuses to stop working, this woman, I'm not arguing with her anymore. It is what it is. It makes her happy. When I look at how he loves me, then the moments when he's frustrating and making me want to just reach out and touch him, I can love him through this. When he's having moments and his alpha maleness is rubbing, because I got a lot of alpha female in me. We can butt ahead now because the Taurus, it's real. But he knows.
Period. I'm a Taurus too, period.
All of that. You know, we will let that lava flow. Of course, in my 50s, I'm more puff of smoke. I'm not going to full lava anymore. That being said, though, it's some steamy smoke, okay? But all that energy doesn't go to that. But I'm saying, when I look at everything I have, when do you stay? You stay when the great majority of time that you spend together is filled with laughter. When I know I can count on you for the important things, period. You're going to aggravate me. You're going to do some things I don't like. You're going to have moments when you are going to say something and it was inappropriate to me. But I'm going to be able to say, all right, you're in a moment right now. We're going to stop here. You need to think about that, because that's not okay that you spoke to me like that. It's not okay that you use that tone with me. And I know, I trust, because he's provided a safe space for me now. I know that he is going to go away. He's going to think about it, and he's going to come back, and he's going to be like, all right, I apologize. And it took time to get him there, but it was worth it. Why? Because my return was so much. So if you're pouring in and getting no return, that's how you should know, I don't need to stay here, because I am giving time. I am trying. I'm trying to build you up, but I'm getting nothing in return. And sometimes you have to leave to get that. Don't be afraid to walk out and be like, this is okay. I'm not doing it, because maybe we started before we were ready. Maybe we got too serious before we were ready. It's okay to take a couple of steps back and be like, nah, something needs to be, because I'm crying way too often. You should not have tears all the time.
Somebody was saying something about being unequally yoked, and like, I can't remember the exact quote, but my thing is, who said God put it together? Because a lot of times we as women, right? He look good, he work, he do all this, y'all do. Okay, that's cool, but are you gonna wash the dishes? Because I don't mind taking out the trash. Are you gonna wash? If I don't miss my husband for nothing else, I miss him from doing laundry. Do you hear me? I hate doing laundry.
Without me having to ask,
we try to make things work.
All of that, Chriselle, exactly.
I'm trying to separate it. We still. Well, I'm gonna give him one more chance. No, My best friend used to tell me, she said,
No.
God sent you a life jacket, but you ain't wanted it. He sent you a boat, you didn't take that either. Like he gives, you know
Come
what I'm
on.
saying? I would never.
Woo!
Yeah.
Come on.
And so I said all that to say a lot of times we as women are very selfless. We give all of ourselves to whatever the situation is, especially when it's our spouse and our children, but we lose ourselves in the process. Like if we don't put ourselves first, that's not being selfish. That's making sure you'll be here for them when they need you. Instead of, well, mom, because she was all stressed out. Well, what's she stressed for? Stress will kill you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think a lot of people talk about that.
Yes.
And then I wanted to piggyback on somebody was saying something about seeing things, and I think a lot of times, especially with these children being overexposed with the internet, a lot of things are normalized. Like, no, you like she was saying something about somebody calling her shorty. No, that's not that doesn't work for a full-grown woman. Excuse me, what is your name? Can I call you? Don't approach me like that because I'm not a hood rat. I'm educated and I'm a woman before I'm anything. So if you don't want nobody to send it to your mom or your daughter, don't say it to me.
I think a lot.
Don't say it to me. Don't say it to me.
And I think another issue that we run into as women, we marry potential.
Yeah.
You get into my next question. Okay. Because I was
we're in the
say
flow.
that. I was like,
we're in the flow.
Yeah, we're in the flow. We in the flow because I'm like, why do women date for potential and don't date men for who they are at that moment?
Right. But so for me, I'm the type of person, if I see it needs to be done, I'm gonna do it. But I have to remind myself everybody doesn't think like me either. You know, so if I see the trash needs to be taken out, I'm not gonna let it overflow because my husband won't take it out. That's just being nasty. You know what I'm saying? But my husband didn't mind cooking. He did laundry. He even washed my daughter's hair, all that. So you see it needs to be done, just do it. Shouldn't be asked. Just do it.
Yeah.
Okay, you made a really good point there, but here's another thing, and again, that maturity is such a beautiful thing because why is it sometimes we can't see the potential in somebody? And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe even date to that potential. But you have to know the difference between who is meant to be dated and be a friend to and who's meant to last forever. Every person with potential,
you have to know.
Maybe you were meant to be in his life to help him grow. Maybe you are going to be a great helper to him and a good friend. You see potential in this man. Y'all have great conversation. You spend time together. There's nothing wrong with that. That does not mean that if you live with him, he's going to be a great husband. That means he's a great friend. Because there are some men that make excellent friends to women. They are really great with them. They listen to them. They help them. But their own women, they treat like nothing. Maybe it's because once you've laid with her, for some men, kind of like, you know, I told y'all from the beginning that I am everything about my daddy's word. And the same way, when David's son was desperate to be with his sister, he kept after her. He wanted to be with her. And the minute he had her, immediately after, he's like, get out because I'm over you.
Yep.
And a lot of men do that. They will chase you. The chase is what draws them in. They're attracted. They want to be with you. You're a strong woman. I like who you are. Oh, I want to be with you. And the minute you give in, then you've done. Now, that's not every man. I'm not saying every time you sleep with it. That's not every man. But there are many cases where the man is just a chaser. So if you see potential in this man, then don't assume his potential means he'll be a good husband or that he's meant to be a father. He's just a man with good potential. Let that be a great friend that helps you and supports you like you help him and support him. Maybe y'all build something great as friends. It does not mean, and even if you think it does and you sleep with him, when you see him changing and his attitude is changing towards you, that goes back to being strong enough to leave. We were good as friends. Obviously, you're not going to work with me as this way. So I love me too much to stay in this.
Yeah.
And Yvonne, you know, Yvonne, I would even add to that. Some people don't know how to differentiate roles. Like you could be a good husband, but a trash father, and vice versa.
Yes.
Just because you're a good husband does not mean you're a good father. Just because you're a good father does not mean you're a good husband.
Yep.
We have to learn how to. You really have to treat it like and put them in like different silos because he's a husband.
Absolutely.
You know, he could be a good father, but I think sometimes as women we get it confused, and I think that's when a lot of times we try to be their mother instead of their friend first, and then their helpmate.
Right.
And who are you seeking for
And you know
guidance
what?
in that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Who are you seeking for guidance in this?
Mhm.
Again, it helps to have older women in your life. When
Yes,
you are young,
yes.
there's much you can't discern. And once
Mhm.
you have slept with a man, especially if it was good, you
Mhm.
know, rose-colored glasses come on. All of a sudden, he can't do no wrong
Mhm.
because his touch makes the butterflies, and that leads everything. And now even when he angry, it's okay because boo, I love you. It's okay. You need something to eat, I'll get you something. To know, honey, don't be mad. But see, if you weren't excited by his touch, then you'd be able to see his behavior clearly. That changes once those rose-colored glasses come on. It shifts how you view him.
Mhm.
And it helps to have older women in your
Yes.
life. Don't be afraid of going to your mother or your aunt or your grandmother and talking about that man. Get an outside perspective.
Yes.
Somebody you trust. And there's
Yes.
too often where you get in a relationship and you don't want to talk about, you don't want to say, if you're ashamed to talk about who you're with, ding, ding. That right there was a problem. Ring that bell.
That's a
Already,
that's a
Right.
that's a clear indication.
I don't want
It's a
Yeah.
clear indication.
it's
Yeah.
a problem.
It is
To
clear.
be proud to talk about the person
Yeah.
you're with. If you have to hide it, there's already something wrong.
Yep.
Talk to, and I don't mean tell everybody, this isn't about putting your business there, but
Mhm.
talk to somebody you trust, who you know has more maturity than you. Don't go talk to the person that can't hold a relationship 5 weeks longer than yours. Talk to somebody who's been in a relationship for a long time, that knows what it's like to hold on, the work that comes in, that'll give you healthy and hopefully godly guidance. Because I'm going to hear
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Mhm.
I'm going to hear what you're talking about. I'm not going to talk about the fact that you slept with him and everything. Let's get past the emotions. What are you happy about or unhappy about? What do you rely on from that person?
Mhm.
What's good about him? If you
Mhm.
can't tell me the good about him and what you rely on and what's countable, honey, we're already falling behind.
Yeah.
So why are you with him? Oh,
No,
because he feels
it's
good.
true.
Oh, but he makes me happy. When? Well, we're together doing what? In the bed. When he touches me, when he does this, he's wicked with, okay. But when
Yeah.
you're out of,
And why only gotta equate to being in the bed?
why
Mhm.
so? But you know,
And
not
that's
how
the
you feel.
thing.
know.
And we have to really be, I just want to interject
Oh.
really quick. We have to really be very cautious of that we are not putting so much emphasis on the physical, because it really,
Right.
I mean, when you're physically intimate with someone, it chemically
Yes, it
changes who
does.
you are.
Yes.
Yes,
The
it
soul
does.
ties, it binds you. And that sexual
Yeah.
intimacy, that's a form of marriage. You know, I mean, let's be very clear that you are forming a marriage with
Yeah.
someone,
bond.
that you are connecting in that
Yes,
way,
honey.
and all a bond, a covenant. You're in covenant with
That's it.
someone. So yes, your whole perspective is going to shift. And I wanted to jump back to what was just being said, that when we're sharing with other people, that we need to discern and make sure that those people have good intentions for
Mhm.
us, that we're not telling
Yes.
someone who wants our relationship to fail, or that just wants
Right.
us to fail in life. That even if
Right.
maybe we don't have a mom or a sister or someone in our family, but we know that our Father will provide someone, will provide a safe space.
Boaz.
And if we feel it, if we use our women's intuition, if we use our women's intuition and know, if I feel a certain way and I shouldn't be sharing this, then I'm going to be very quiet, because oftentimes we find ourselves in these situations where it's like, my business is all in the street because I knew I shouldn't have shared it with you, or you're telling me to divorce this man or stay with this man or all this stuff, and you don't have
Mhm.
good intentions for me. I can't take anything from you. So I wanted to pinpoint that, right? We as women, we want to share so much, and we're so desperate to share and reveal. No, where's the vessel that we're pouring into? Is it a vessel that can hold us and contain what we have? Or is it a vessel that is leaking,
Right.
or will allow certain things to come out? Or if you're telling me advice and you're giving me instruction that isn't beneficial for me, that's something we have to be very cautious of. So I wanted to make sure to say that, especially us as women, we have to know, is this a safe space for me to share?
Period.
Is this a God ordained for me to
That
share?
part.
Right.
Have I been led by my Father
Yes.
to share
Yes.
this? we're in that time now. It's that critical.
Because I love my daddy and he's first.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, even
Yes.
that aside, because I am a licensed professional counselor, because that is my chosen profession, but God is in everything that I do.
Mhm.
I have to tell you, I told many a couples, as I told my own family, if anybody tells you when you're talking about your husband or your spouse or whomever, and somebody says, I'm on your side, that person's already a problem.
Yep.
My husband is my other half. You can't be on my side against my other half. I'm one flesh
Hello.
with that man. To be on my
Come on.
side is to be on the side of my marriage. And if that's not where you're coming
Right.
from, if you're not discussing what's good for my marriage, don't take my side. How are you going to take my side against my man? You're already dividing us.
And you
that
wrong.
can't be right.
It's very
So if you're
dangerous.
talking to somebody who doesn't
It's very
know that,
dangerous.
who doesn't understand, they have to be on the side of your relationship and hear from that objective piece. If you're not talking to somebody who understands that from go, then that might already be a clue that maybe this person is not somebody I should talk to.
And another thing, I think one key word that
Oh, hold on. One more thing, y'all, because I don't want to hold y'all too long because it is 8:31. Because this conversation getting good, but I gotta get these supporter questions in because I promised them a shout out. Okay,
Yes.
so but yeah, we're gonna pick it back up on here because we might need to do a part 2 of this because baby, this conversation is getting good. Okay, and I didn't want to keep y'all here to 10 o'clock. Okay, so let me get this conversation out of the way. Okay, so we have a supporter question. His name is Timothy Jones. He said, how do women view let me read it again. How do women view men's roles and what does that look like to you?
Repeat that question again, Ani.
You're fine. Okay, so this is from Timothy Jones, and he asked, how do women view men and what does that look like to you? I'm assuming like in your relationship or how your roles play in relationships. I'm assuming that's how you meant.
Okay. So taking it at that, how do you view the roles? I guess it's because the gender. The man's supposed to take out the trash. The man's supposed to rake the yard. The man's supposed to do this. Women are to be in the house, taking care of the children, washing dishes. That was good in 1940, 1950. Roles, gender saying roles change. My sons, boy, mom, I raised my sons from 5 years old to iron their clothes, wash the dishes, clean the house. Because in the event you get a side woman whose mama didn't teach them how to clean, you know how to clean your house. So there is no role as stereotyping. Just because I am a male, I am supposed to do this. No, same thing with women. I see them women out there riding them John Deere lawnmower. Now I don't cut grass. Right. But if I had to, I could.
I do.
I'll pick somebody.
Me either. I ain't doing that.
It's not beneath me to take out the trash. To do this, I can't say, because I know the Bible teaches us the man is the head of the house, the male role and all this. I don't have a man in this house. It's me and one of my granddaughters. I got to take my trash out. There's certain things as a woman I have to do. So me being a woman or whatever, my role and my duties to my household or whatever is not defined by my gender. And I mean, that's just my take on that.
I think if we're going to bring up our Father's word and what it's talking about, our Father had greater intended when he spoke. In Old Testament, God laid down the law of the order, how it was supposed to be man over woman, over the children. A man was supposed to stay home for a longer amount of time to learn from his father. And then he's supposed to leave that house and go on to his woman's house. And together they were supposed to cleave onto each other and grow in the maturity under that family and stuff. However, we need to understand when Christ came, Christ looked at people, as he said, I came to fulfill the law. It's no longer about specific gender roles. It is more specific about what he's called to do. You are not called to take out trash and do the oil. You are called to seek God's guidance. You are called to be a follower of the Lord. You are called to keep covenant with the Father, with that wife, and then the two of y'all and me. You are called to be an example for your family. You are called to pray over. You are called to this role. What that means in the household, that's defined between you and that person in that household. It may be that he cooks
Yes,
more
right.
because that woman is supposed to, as a helpmeet. I am meant to support my husband. I am meant to be the wisdom he needs to hear. I am meant to be that peace when he needs it, because I'm going to disrupt some of his peace sometimes too. A tis what a tis. That is the Taurus in me. But he's used to it, so it's good. But I am meant to recognize when he needs that peace. I am meant to be that support and that strength when he can't be it on his own. I am meant to recognize where there's a gap and to fill it. That is the ultimate role of a helpmeet. I am to see what you can't see so that I can give you the wisdom the Father gives me to support you best for our household. There are pertinent roles intended for a woman and pertinent roles intended for a man. And if we think we can subject them to what you do in the house and who changed the oil, you've missed it. It's greater than that.
Completely.
Because now with society, and I understand what you're saying, I respect your perspective, the roles in society have changed because you've got women that are heads up in their houses.
Honey.
Correct. There's no man.
Right.
There's no men in this house.
So
You've got households.
you're just gonna leave the trash? What are you gonna do?
You have households who don't even recognize Christ as being a head, as being in their households. So I'm, that's why I'm like, help me to understand. I respect the perspective, but in the same token, I have to be realistic and understanding that, yes, this is how Christ intended it, but you see in the world an uproar. Now, I'm trying to say, I'm really trying to be careful how I say this, but the intention of God was to, I got to go there. I got to go there because I got to, and I'm not expecting anybody's orientation or belief or nothing. When you see two of the same people of the same sex in the same household, God ain't in that. I mean, I respect my brothers and my sisters, even from a therapist or professor. I respect what you do. I have not ounce, but that wasn't the intention of God. But you're seeing it. It's happening in today's society. You're seeing God didn't intend for women to be head of the households, but it happens. That was not his intention. So is it that we're not honoring God's intention, or man's doing other thing? When Adam and Eve sinned to God gave them specific instruction: don't eat off this tree. But because he made us all free will moral agents, we're gonna do what we're gonna do. Going back,
whatever we want.
Talking about church, and I know everybody's seeing this on social media. I'm not trying to divert. We're in the church. That preacher had that 16-year-old girl get up there and repent because she's pregnant out of wedlock.
I saw that.
Me too.
Where was the guy? Where was the guy who got her pregnant?
The same place the guy was when they pulled that woman before Christ and said, I caught her in the middle of adultery.
Where was he?
In the same place.
Nowhere
to be found. Nowhere.
Yeah.
And
I felt like that was so disrespectful. I know that she had a child to wear, like I get it, but you don't do that.
And she agreed with her pastor.
How the baby gonna get some Pampers? Is preacher man gonna buy the baby some Pampers? I don't think so.
Well, sound like he might be the father.
Maybe he's the dad. Maybe he's the dad.
Probably is.
Yeah. Come on. Maybe he's the pops. I mean,
But he knew what Christ was writing on that ground. But he said, go, he forgave her.
Nobody.
No more. But where were the accusers that were accusing her? So yes, the foundation, the word was there, but because God gave us free will, moral agents, and gave us that free will, we're seeing stuff that's happening in the world. Nowadays, that yes, it may not be aligned up with the principle, but because of the will of people, it's allowed.
Well, and
then
professionals.
Yeah. We're adopting the ways of the world.
That's not,
and herein lies the problem. That we know that we are taking on how the mindset of the world is. that no, it was never the intention for single parent homes or same sex homes. No, that was never the intention. But that's what's been normalized. So society is influencing us. And now, especially in the kingdom, where we should be setting the trends and we should be setting the mindset as we used to, now we're following the ways of the world. Right. And so we see everything flipped upside down and topsy-turvy because we are following the way that we shouldn't be. That we know that the intention, we saw it laid out, but because we are able to do whatever we want, we're doing it. And then we normalize the dysfunction. That there's no shade to single parent homes. That's not the way that it was meant to be. And that we're grateful for all the single moms and single dads. We thank you for your service. Like, it's hard work. We understand that's not the intention. And I never want us to normalize. That wasn't the intention.
And we say, oh, we're in the world, but not of the world.
Exactly.
The book says we're in the world, but not of the world.
Come on.
So
that's what it is.
That's the part.
That's it.
The Bible does not. You cannot compromise on the word.
You can't compromise.
Did he not clearly say he does not like? He will spew the lukewarm out of his mouth. He will spew them. Okay, so yes, you either going to be hot or not.
That's it.
And you can't compromise that. And like she said, a lot of what the body of Christ is following the world instead of the world following the body of Christ. If you're wrong in that good book, and I can show you in that good book what it say. I don't care what you think about me. I'd rather for you to be mad at me than God. Sorry. And I don't know.
But you also can't pick and choose. There's nothing more hypocritical than somebody whose life is showing that they're not following the word. But now that it comes to who I'm sleeping with and how I run my house, now you want to bring up the Bible. Make it make sense. If you're going to speak the word, then be living it and be modeling it. Don't use it when you want to put somebody down. God's word convicts, it doesn't condemn. The enemy condemns.
Well, because then it becomes a weapon. It becomes a weapon.
The Lord convicts. He wants you to change. He wants to bring you back. He doesn't want to push you further away. Yes. And if anybody uses a word to shame and demean and to put down, you're not doing God's word. You just use the wrong interpretation as a weapon. No. And our daddy sees that too. Correct. I love my daddy. I live his word. I live according to it. I will never at all go against it. That being said, I am in the world, not of the world. And I choose to be a counselor. I choose to help people. That means when I talk to you, you don't have to be Christian. You don't have to have these same beliefs. You can be Muslim. You can be Hindu. It doesn't matter, especially for me, because I believe God is at the base of all of them. I think he showed himself to different people. This is why there's so many similarities, but that's my belief. Not going to turn this into that. But the thing is, God told me to love his children. I am called to be his light and love in the world. He said his word will not return void. He didn't say Yvonne's word. He said his word. I'm going to live it. I'm going to talk it, but mostly I'm going to love you. God hates the sin, not the sinner.
Not the sinner. Amen.
They want to condemn and put people down.
We looked that up.
His child like that.
What that preacher failed to realize is he's going to be punished
that
for leading people the wrong way, because it's nowhere in
heavily.
Did he not say that without sin cast the first stone? Nobody can just because I think people condemn homosexuality the most because we can actually see it. We know when people lie on those.
So it's in our face.
A lie is no greater than homosexuality.
I say that all the time.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you passing judgment when you have no grounds to do so. So no, I don't know.
Sin is
greater than the other sin. That's what I say.
It's not
exactly.
And I don't want to hold y'all too long. So I'm gonna go to the next question real quick. I'm telling you, we need to do a part 2 for real, y'all. I'm gonna try to get to for real, because everybody in the comments are requesting that. So yeah, we need to do a part 2. So I'm gonna do the next supporter question.
Okay.
This came from Darian Moses, if I'm saying that right. He said, this is specifically for Christian women. Why do women of faith date men that are not into God or the church?
Who said that?
So there's a lot of women. I've heard that before. His name is Darian Moore.
I'm going to stay mute on this one.
And he said, why do women of faith date men that are not into God or the church?
That's another $1 million question with a
listen. You need to say that for part 2.
You really
I mean,
do.
No,
Seriously.
I'm gonna say that for
No,
part two,
Yeah.
but because I'm gonna give him a shout out, but
can
but
we
we
start
can
off
touch
with-
on it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can touch on it because I think the
Did
beginning
Michelle,
part
did you
needs.
want to say something?
that.
I think the first part needs to
No,
be.
not really.
Hold on, Yvonne. I think Chriselle was
Yeah,
she wanted
go
to say
ahead,
something.
Chriselle.
I mean, I just wanted to say it's just because we're human. So it's like sometimes whoever you're
Mhm.
attracted to, whoever you're drawn to for whatever reason, you're
Mm-hmm.
just. I think that's like the basic answer.
Mm.
And
I understand.
for me, a basic answer is first, how are you identifying this person as a Christian? There are many times somebody
Hello.
says somebody is a Christian or a person of faith. And does that mean because you saw them attend church on Sunday? How often are they reading the word? How often are they studying? And how often are they praying during the day? Have they put aside their flesh to follow God's will? Are they seeking him for direction? There's more to being a Christian than
Darian.
going to church on Sunday. Hi, Darian. Thank you for this excellent question. But first, I would say, when you say women of faith, you might be talking about women who are trying. Because first of all, when you become a Christian, you become a child, right? We are born again for a reason.
Babes.
So we become a child. And in that, remember, we have that worldly person, that natural person inside of us. We have to undo all of that to learn how to follow and live as God will. So for one part of it, first, is this person really a Christian? Or are they just somebody who attends church and you're thinking it is? Second, if the person is a Christian, maybe they're new in their faith, new in their walk. They're as a babe right now. So they're still learning, and a whole lot of the natural and the flesh still leads them. So they're trying. But if it is a mature person, if what you're talking about is the person who is living according to their faith, walking according to it, reading their word, I would hesitate to say that that woman would choose a man not of. Because then you're talking about somebody who's probably done the unequally yoked and choosing their own will before God's. As a pastor in New York used to say, that's how you get an Ishmael instead of an Isaac. That's how we birth what wasn't meant to be instead of what was. Because we're jumping the gun, because we're not waiting on his will. So maturity comes into that, and also your level of Christianity and faith. So there's a lot of different parts to it. But a person who is deep in their faith, walking it, they've lived without God and have decided, I won't anymore. That person is not going to choose somebody that's unequally yoked and not living according, because they're like, I want somebody walking this with me. I'm trying to get further in my faith. I want somebody that walks along. But if you're talking about somebody who maybe, as I did, began walking in my faith, making Christ the head of my life, and I was with a man that was not, I chose to stay because I saw the change in that man. I saw that he was walking along, and though his steps were further behind me, I trusted God for him. So I was no longer trying to raise him or bring him along. I trusted him to seek God. And when I saw him doing that, that means my daddy's got him. Talk about that holy slap. I'm just going to move out the way, because when he gets on my nerves, I go into that closet and I'm like, I need you to handle this one.
And
Listen, that's the best weapon.
Where in the Bible,
That's the best weapon.
does it say? I'm sorry.
Always is.
Oh.
No, I'm saying,
Yeah.
where in the Bible? Where in the Bible does it say you're going to go to heaven, or whatever your eternal life will be? Where does it say it's based on attendance of going to church? Because I know a lot of people that sit in church 20, 30, 40 years, and my pastor say only thing they can say is Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. You can't win anybody like that. But I know people that don't go to church, but they still read their book. You know, they still read the good book.
Better say it.
And they actually live what they are reading, not just putting on a facade for other people to see. So I don't think just because you don't go to church, now it does say assemble with people. That doesn't have to be in the building. We are the church. Our bodies are the church.
Amen.
We are the church, and that's the reality of what we're talking about. And I want to be honest, from my perspective, I was born and raised in the church, ordained to preach at 19, right? Like, just a kid, just a kid.
Wow. Okay.
And the reality is this: I have dated reverends, I have dated pastors, and I'm not saying they're all trash. I would never say that.
Watch out.
I would never say that. What I would say is the men that I have found outside of church, not outside of God, those are not interchangeable. If you're outside, you know what I mean? If you're outside of church, that doesn't mean you're outside of God. And
Amen.
honestly, I had to leave
Exactly.
the church to really find who God was. For me,
Ooh.
I had to leave
Yeah,
Yes.
it was a
the
lot.
church.
You
Because
know what?
I
So was
knew the
I.
truth.
I'm the same way.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
My dad was a preacher. I know what it is to be in church. I know what it is to be there. I know what it is to be super religious and wear all the clothes and have all the things on and know when to shout and all that. I there was not a man in church for me because there was not a man who had the church in him. And so
Ooh.
when
Yes.
and
Deep.
the question is amazing,
Really
Darian.
hard.
You know, the question is really good because you find, and I know that I have found that I have found more godly men outside of the church. This is no shade; it's just a reality that sometimes you get used to the hamster wheel of religiosity. That I am not necessarily tied down to all this religious stuff. That I have a spiritual relationship. That I have a relationship with my Father, and that I am not burdened by so much religion. Religion becomes a burden, right? When we
Because
use it to
causes
avoid our
confusion
issues,
too.
our problems. It's all confusion and it becomes divisive. So to just go back to that answer, what everyone else is saying, that just because you choose a man who's not in the church doesn't mean that you're choosing a less godly man. That there are men who don't have a MIN or REV in front of their name, but they can preach a sermon and they know that word
Oh yeah.
and they know the Bible and the characteristics of God. That's what it's not about how much Bible you know. You know what I mean? Like, are you
Apply.
living the
Hey.
word? And if you display the characteristics of God, then I'm good with that. You know, so just to answer that, I've dated all reverend pastor. Oh, they were preaching, and when they got off that pulpit, they were nasty. They were nasty. So it's you know, it's something to say.
There's a lot of layers to that. Exactly.
It really
That's
is.
crazy.
And, you know,
So
the
many.
thought that kept
Like
coming
an
to my
onion.
mind was like, how can two walk together except they be in agreement? If I'm loving the Lord, and you know, and this, I'm speaking me personally. I'm in church loving the Lord and do what I'm doing to do according to the word of God. This individual's out in the streets living, just being a straight up blatant sinner for who they are. Because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't saved all my life. It
Hello.
wasn't until I got into my mid to
Hello.
late 20s when I got saved. I'm keeping this thing real. I think it's like, you know, and I've seen this in the church more times than not. You know, a lot of good godly women, they succumb to men out there in the street. Oh, I'm saved, I'm doing this. They might come to church, they might give it up. I can behave for about a good 6 months to get what I want. And then after that, hey, I'm at the church, you're gonna see my true colors. I'm just using that as an expression. So, like you said, it's a lot of layers. And then some women, you know, I don't want to be by myself. Going back to the Build-A-Bear. Going back. Yeah, I call it the Build-A-Bear. I ain't build no man. I ain't Build-A-Bear.
Build a bear, build a man.
Yeah, the perspective. Oh, he's got potential.
Yep.
I'm not interested in your potential. What is your goal? Have some clarity. What does your walk look like? What are you doing? Because you're going to know a tree by the fruit that it bears.
Yes.
You're going to know that. You're going to know if that man's saved or not. You're going to know if that's what he is. So how are you in agreement? Because one is either going to pull or one is going to draw.
Hello.
And do you want to be on the backsliding end, or do you want to be in the end? I'm going to draw this man into Christ, because you got to be careful. And I'm saying this with experience. As a woman of God, them men in the street going to try you to have something to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she ain't saved. She ain't that. They going to
Come on now.
There's a fetish.
Yeah, you might not.
There's a fetish.
Yeah, it is a fetish.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna try her and see if she says who she says she is. If you can stand there and no, my skirt tail ain't going up, my thighs ain't coming up. Okay, he's gonna show that respect. So you got to be careful, because I saw what he said. A wolf will come in sheep's clothing.
Hello.
Discernment is key.
Key. It's life-saving. It saves your life.
So yes. Okay. So one more question. Okay. And this is from, because I ain't want to hold y'all, because this conversation is good. I can say this y'all all night.
And I'm very passionate.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Darian. There's a good question. Okay. The next question is from Bashana, and that's a supporter question. She said, if there was any advice you will give to a woman over 20, what would it be? So I know all of us are over 20. Okay, I'm 28.
Not me.
Okay, so
Me neither.
Put a baby in the bunch.
I'm not too sure how old Crashell is, but yes, what advice would you give women over 20?
Like emotional advice or relationship advice?
Just in general.
Yeah,
I would say live your
you
life.
just say in general.
Live your
Just a-
life.
yeah.
Live your life.
Yeah.
Stay home as long as you can and live your life. Because them bills is not for the weak.
It ain't. It's not.
That's what my advice would be. Live your life. Travel.
I think I would share about social media that don't shape so much of your life off of social media. And I'm saying that, you know, to women over 20, because sometimes it's like, oh, only young women or teeny boppers are on social media. No, everyone's scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. Everybody, every age, you see 50s and 60s, everyone's doing it. What I would say is the self-love. We've been talking about the self-love. Like you have to have self-love at your core, because it really does determine how you allow people to treat you. And it really does determine how your life is going to be. There are certain situations you won't stay in, even at your job, right? Not just in a relationship. There are certain things that you won't stay in because of how you love yourself. And if we are comparing ourselves to what we see on social media, and if we're trying to line ourselves up with a snapshot of what we see on someone's page, it's not even their real life, that you've rented this house, that you've rented this car. You know what I mean? That we just see one 10-second snapshot and we just do our whole life off of that. Have your self-love and watch about comparison, because comparison is the killer of your destiny, right? Of your dreams, of who you are. Because we're trying to model and fashion ourselves after someone else. Not be true to who you are. And I agree, stay home as long as you can. Because when the taxes start biting and the bills start biting, you know you're grown. So
like Yvonne say, bruh.
Crashell, I know you just came back. So the question was, what advice would you give someone that's over 20? So I'm not too sure how old you are. I'm 28.
I'm 20. I'll be 28.
Okay. So I'll be 29 this year, girl. Oh Lord, I'm about to touch 30. Whew, let me put my hair.
Oh, that's
30 is a beautiful journey. 30 is a beautiful journey.
Yeah, that's what y'all say. But, so who's next? Who want to answer that question?
You know, I'll go. I really like what she was just saying about self-love. Honestly, if you learn how to love you, then everything else. It truly will. It will line up with that, because loving you means you're not going to allow yourself to be disrespected. Loving you means you will walk away if you're unhappy in a place. Loving you means you will think about who you let into your life before you open up your door or anything else. You're going to think about it, because I love me too much, and you won't be afraid to say goodbye. So I absolutely sit on that. I think that should be right at the top, because I did not know what love was, let alone what loving me was. And I definitely would have made other choices had I understood what loving me was. So I put that right at the top. And then afterwards, I would say, look for mentors. It is helpful to have women in your life. If you don't have sisters, aunties, grandmas, please, women are everywhere, and we love pouring into each other. I honestly don't know how women can make it without other women. We are amazing, and women love pouring into other women. I would say choose wisely, but choose other women, mentors that you just sit around with. I'm not talking about, that you have to start meeting with them every week, but you should have someone that you can turn to, ask questions. Just be real, who's going to listen without judgment. That you can be like, I just need to talk to you. This guy I'm with, or this guy I'm dating, he wants me to try something. He wants me to do something. He wants me to use a different orifice, whatever it is. And who's going to listen without judgment and say, well, honey, let's get deeper than that. You're talking about what orifice to use. How is he treating you outside of? When you go someplace, how do you feel? Are you proud to talk about him with your family? Like, get somebody who will listen genuinely without judgment and will pour into you, being honest about their own mistakes. Nothing more frustrating to me than to talk to somebody who's gone beyond their past and then act like they want to forget they didn't have one. Stop it. You know, dang well you weren't all this. You know, dang well you didn't walk this short. You know, dang well there was a time when you weren't that confident. I love everything about my 50s. Like I loved everything about my 40s because of the strength that came with it, the assurance and confidence that walked with it. I walk in the state that my father put me in. I walk in the assurance of what he has for me. I walk on the path that he set straight. I do that so I know what's meant for me. I don't have to question it. And when authority is given to me, I walk in the authority that he gave me. I don't question it, maybe. It's not if
Angela,
I keep, this belongs to me,
Angela,
this position is mine, then that's what I walk in. So
sorry, Angela, behave.
I hear her. Don't do it.
Angela, behave. Behave. I'm about to give you a pow. Angela,
you know how Angie is.
Y'all, that's y'all. Angela's my mama.
Because she cut up. She cut up. I know. And she cut up last time too.
It was a mess.
She cut up
so
on the
your
last panel.
self-love is first.
My mama,
and next
Lord.
is she's a lot.
Miss
But
Angela?
next is find an older woman who remembers where she was and doesn't mind talking to you honestly and will pour into you honestly. Because women need women. Sisters need sisters. That has nothing to do with color. Sisters need sisters. We need somebody who's going to be like, girl, I understand. It's okay that you feel weak. It's okay that you've had weak moments, but you are stronger than that. You can stand better than that. And we'll help you to do that. I think those are right at the top.
I think.
Okay, Crashell, you want to say anything? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You know, you the host. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Crashell, you want to say anything?
I think the same thing. You just have to love yourself, have mentors. I think you should embrace what makes you unique instead of being in fear of it, and really find your purpose, because the older you get, the more like not you're wasting time, but the more time you're letting pass. So I feel like you should really take the time to work on yourself while you're younger, before you have to dedicate your time to other things or other people if you have kids and things like that.
Okay. And I know Miss Yvonne, I know you want to say something with that as well.
Go to school, learn a trade, start learning at a young age to build self-sufficiency, learning financial stability, how to have your own. Angie touched on one point, being able to take yourself out, be okay with being by yourself, really tuning into your own personal core values, because the brain is not fully mature until women 25, 21, 25.
I say 25 and older.
So, so you still don't have that maturity. You still want to do whatever. Enjoy life, but also stay focused. Again, going back to the mentors, getting coaches, getting sound advice from seasoned women who can be trusted. Just like this community of women here, you know, all of us have the same goal, is to really be able to pour into, minister into other people. And the other thing I would say, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's how you learn. That's right. That's where your experiences come from. And just be authentic and go and grow.
Yes. Authenticity always wins.
Absolutely.
Always wins.
Always.
You can only put on a facade for so long.
Always win.
Go ahead and give them
for so long.
You can only hold it for so long.
Yeah. You're gonna like it or not. That's either way.
It's easier that way.
So,
it's easier that way.
Right.
Absolutely.
And please get your
Angela, Mama Angela,
I'm gonna get my mama.
You must be stopped.
Annika, get your mom.
I'm gonna get my mama. That's why I'm gonna get her. Because she doing the most. It's her bedtime,
I'm gonna
y'all.
email her tomorrow. She acting up. Annika, get your mama. You know better.
I'm gonna get her. So that's why I'm about to close out this live because I'm about to go get her. Okay. But yes, before I go and before we close out, just give yourself a shout out. Ask everybody, let's tell everybody where you follow that. Who want to go first?
I'm on Facebook for the moment.
I'll jump.
Okay, yeah, just go ahead and jump in. Steph, you can jump in.
Yeah, I'm like, because everyone's waiting on the outside of the pool. I get it. And it just shows, it shows mutual respect. So I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants to give everyone the space. So I'm Lilac Calandra everywhere. That's a combination of my favorite color and my middle name. So it's Lilac, like the color, and then Calandra, Calandra. I also have a life coaching company called Selah Mindset, and Selah is the rest that we need after we experience so many things. We find that in the book of Psalms, where there was a big music, all these instruments were going on, and then it says Selah. It means to take a pause, to take a contemplative reflection. So it's Selah Mindset. Also, I'm sharing posts, I'm sharing breathing techniques, and just talking real talk. So I would love to connect with you. I would love if anyone's looking for a life coach, if anyone wants to jump into some groups, let's do that. Let's be on the journey and heal together. And I'm grateful to be on this panel because this panel healed me as well, right? That's why I like being in healing spaces. The panel and your energy healed as well. So it's Lilac Calandra and Selah Mindset, looking to connect with you all so we can heal together. We're all on the journey. Let's be lock arm. Let's be in step and keep going forward. Men and women, it's everybody.
Amen.
Absolutely. My name is Yvonne Lee, and as I said, director and a founder of Counseling and Shifting Perspectives Group. You can Google me. The information for my website is on there. I am open to receiving. I also work with military because my husband and I are both veterans. So
thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
ladies. Absolutely. And so you can... and I'm still accepting clients. I am looking for groups as well because just knowing how to self-regulate, knowing how to heal is so important. So if you're looking to be part of a group, we can absolutely do that. As well as women's groups. That's so important to me. Women's groups and grief groups. Because many times we're grieving and are not even aware of it. Sometimes you have to grieve the loss of a relationship, grieve the loss of a job, and especially as women, grieving the loss of yourselves. When you are in a relationship and a person causes you to question who you are, you easily lose yourself. And we as women, so oftentimes, I'm going to say especially colored women, because we put so much on us and the whole community leans on us. We lose ourselves easily. We lose our perspective, our goals, our dreams, because we will willingly set all that aside for a love we don't even understand. That's not even real. And we will lose ourselves in that. So we grieve that, and then we think we're ready to go on. And you get older, but you haven't grieved. You haven't dealt with that loss. You haven't dealt with who I was going to be and who I have to be now. You haven't grieved enough to look in the mirror and be okay with and stop being mad at that young woman looking back at you because you allowed too many men the glory of your pearl. Because you allowed too many men in and out your bed. You never said goodbye to her. You
Yvonne,
never forgave her. And when you talk about
don't preach us under the pew. Don't preach us. Don't preach us under the pew. Don't preach us under the pew.
That's it. We're gonna do a part 2 because we need. Yeah, you need to.
You trying to wrap up? Don't shout us.
You're absolutely right. But there's a lot that we need to grieve sometime as a community, and we don't even talk about it or acknowledge it. And many of us are not who we started out to be, and we have not learned how to forgive ourselves. And accept the choices we made and recognize that, okay, I did that, but that's not who I am anymore. And so many of us are trapped in a box because people won't let you leave. I don't care if you were if you was a practicing hoe last night. If you wake up this morning and say, I'm not doing it anymore, then you're not doing it anymore. And don't let somebody who saw you yesterday, you was just a hoe yesterday, but that was yesterday. You're stuck. I'm not today.
Free the people. Free the people.
Come on.
We need to
Okay.
Amen.
learn how to grieve and move beyond and to forgive ourselves. So, sisters, if you need to talk about that, I am all about that because God can do. And even if you are not Christian, women, we have the power to. We are great in so many ways, and just forgetting that or not being told that enough. So I am all about that. Counseling and Shifting Perspectives group, please Google me. I'd love to know you. Love to know you.
All right. Let's see. Coffee. You can go ahead.
So I can be reached on Facebook. For the moment, I pops off and on because sometimes it just consumes a lot of my time, so I try to limit it. And so I give myself small increments of Facebook, but I can also be reached at selfmentalhealth.com. So that's my best friend's business, and I'm a therapist here at the local office in Hartsville, and I'm also a certified grief counselor. So I just received that credential earlier last year. When I lost my son and my husband, I said I wanted my story to help somebody else. So, and our stories usually aren't for us,
Come
they're for
on.
somebody else. So,
Come on.
I'm a
Oh,
giver by
geez.
nature, so
Amen.
whatever I can do.
All right. Who's next?
Guess that would be me. I'm on all social media. Coach Von dot 20 dot 20 underscore 20 IG, Facebook. Of course, you can see me, Von L. Young. My business page is Creative Life Journeys, and Journeys is spelled Journies. Journey. Everybody's journey is different. It's the same way the spelling is different. Uh, I'm on LinkedIn, Yvonne L. Young, comma MA. I am on TikTok, Coach Vaughn.
Come on, TikTok.
Yeah, I don't really do a lot of stuff, but I am on there. Of course, just like you all, for my coaching and my consulting, I do one-on-one coaching for women's empowerment. I do use mindfulness techniques as a tool to help you gain clarity and purpose, to help you become settled, grounded in a non-judgmental space in that current moment, so you can focus on becoming the better version of yourself despite any adversity, despite what you may have gone through, despite what people may say about you. You can tap into who you are, as well as providing that mental health, mental wellness stability. I do mental health 9 to 5, mental wellness 7 to 9. On my business hour in my business Creative Life Journeys. Of course, I have my self-practical workbook guide. It is on Amazon. And if you would like an autographed copy of it, you can contact me. It's called Creative Life Therapy. And it has a lot of practical tips and steps that will help you on your mental health wellness journey, as well as help you to develop your mental health maintenance plan.
Yes.
So that's me, and I'm also a speaker. I do have an upcoming event. My Hope Begins With You, my mental health and wellness conference.
Yep.
This year, I'm hoping to be able to offer it virtually. So you're going to be seeing a lot of information about that, and it's pretty good. I like it for the most part. I hate planning it, but I like it. That's why I have a team.
Yep. Okay. And then lastly, Crashell, give yourself a shout out. Tell people where they can follow you at, things like that. Oh, Crashell, you okay? Uh-oh. I think my screen frozen.
I think she's frozen.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to put her information in the comments.
Yeah, I'm gonna put her information. Yeah, hold on, let me see. Is she back? Crashell, you hear us?
Oh, she's back.
She's back.
Oh, you can't hear you.
Okay, she is.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Paused on my end. Is it my turn to go?
Yes.
Yes. So tell people where they can follow you. Yes.
Okay, you can follow me. I go by Queen K as well. So on Instagram, TikTok, Lemon8. My username is official Queen K5. On Facebook, my name is Chrishell Mitchell. It's KRY''SHELL. And then I have a few of them. If you find the one that has the Queen K and the apostrophes. That's my main Facebook. And then I also have a website, beuniquethepodcast.com. It will be live tomorrow. It's spelled BEYONIQU, the podcast. Oh, and also, I'm sorry, my Instagram is Be Unique, the podcast.
All right. And I think, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Do your thing. You're fine.
Oh, no.
You said Be Unique, the podcast?
The podcast. That's all.
Yes.
Okay. I got you. And let's see. I think, Coffee, she left. So hopefully she's okay. But yes, y'all. So as I did state it, I do have an announcement to make. Okay, so I received an email on last night, and not only am I featured in one magazine, as y'all know, I'm featured in 2 magazines. I am now featured in 3 magazines. Okay, so last night I am now featured in another magazine.
Congratulations,
yes,
my sister.
Thank y'all so much. Yes. So, I received that email last night. I said, okay, so after this live, I am going to post a link for everybody to read the article. And so Navigating Our Podcast is in another magazine in under a year, because we haven't had a year yet. So on January 29th. So in a matter of we are now in 3 magazines. So it's nobody but God, okay?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Come on. And
Amen.
You deserve all that. I mean, this platform is amazing.
Okay.
And you know what? I forgot to mention that I have a couple of podcasts too, but I want you guys on it. Like, you know what I mean? Because we talk about the healing and the mental health. And I think this platform is such a beautiful example of how we should be collaborating together. Especially as us, as women, as Black women. You know, sometimes we can known to be catty and known to not work together. We have worked together seamlessly. Everyone has a personality. Everyone has their own energy. Everyone has what they bring. But that's why you're getting the shine. They're going to continue to get the shine because of the atmospheres that you cultivate. So I did want to say that. Like I watched your platform and I'm like, yes, you know what I mean? The blessings are coming because of who you are and what you create and what you allow to happen. So I think it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yes. Thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate it. Because, baby, I ain't knew what the world a year ago, me sitting here, I'm like shaking in my boots. I think I was recording the first episode and I was like, I don't know about this. But we are here now. We're about to hit 1 year soon, like in a couple weeks. So, I'm excited. I'm very much excited. So, yes I want to thank every last one of y'all.
You need to celebrate that milestone.
Thank you. Yes, I am. Matter of fact, I'm going to have an anniversary dinner, okay? And I'm inviting all of y'all to come out, okay? It's invite only, so everybody can't just come to it.
I knew I was invited.
Everybody can't come to it.
I'll be virtual.
I am going to send y'all.
Let me come virtually.
Yes, I got you, girl. I got you. I got you, girl. So, yes, I want to thank every last one of y'all for coming on Navigating Our Podcast today. So, I'm so happy that y'all came here today.
Me too. Thank you. I hope there'll be a part 2. This was good.
It was good.
Oh,
I really enjoyed it.
It's going to be a part 2. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a part 2. So, y'all, make sure that y'all tune in next week. It's going to be a regular episode. It's not going to be live. But we're going to be speaking with Zandra Muldrow, and she's going to talk about all things pageantry. So, come back. See me on YouTube and Spotify at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, as stated. Make sure y'all follow Navigator 9 on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Spotify. That's a lot to say. But yes, okay, period. But yes, I want to thank y'all once again so much. And remember, y'all, because I'm about to close this out, I got to say my quote. And remember, yes, life was delayed, but it never gave denied. I'm your host, Annika Laquette, and you're listening to Navigator 9 Podcast. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Period.